All right, let's get back to work on this truck. We got to cut the upper and lower link bars. Now the bottom, once that axle is all the way up, the bottom of where the link bar is going to go in will be probably right there at the top of it where it is now, because it's got a lot of travel left. So I'm going to just measure to the top over to where I'm actually going to want to put my link bar. So here is, I've already measured to center on this, is right about there. And if I measure all the way over to where I'm wanting to put it, this is actually the angle that I'm going to want to put my link bars. Go ahead, creep out on me. If you look down, I push it out just a little bit more. It'll be 3.5 foot to the other side of the axle. And then that way I can cut and trim it later to exact fit of where I'm going to want it. So 3.5 foot for the bottom. The top bars are going to go from here straight out this way. So I'm just going to measure to right here. Now, I was looking out online, and it's actually the way it is. About 6 inches out from center right to here, your axle is going to be 3 inches in diameter. You go out here a little bit more, and they're 2 inches and 3/4 inches, 2 3/4 inches in diameter out here. It actually steps down just about a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch from what it is here out to there. So I ordered 3-inch upper and lower or link tabs, and got them from Scraping Pavement. Road Fabrication, ROHDE Fab is the one website that you'll be going to for a whole set of link tabs is $50, and that's for all 16, because you need 4 across the top, 4 across the bottom, and then 4 across the top and 4 across the bottom. So you get all of them for $50, and they're 3/16 thick. So all right, so I've got 3.5 foot for the lower link bars, and I've got 3 foot for the top link bars. So now I'm gonna go and find some metal. I've got 2-inch bars, and I've got some 1-inch bars. I'm gonna use the 1-inch bars for the top bars, and I'm gonna use this. This is 1/2 inch thick by 4 inches wide. Remember, I got this a long time ago. I've got a long strip of it right there, and I've got this piece right here, and I'm going to cut these at 3.5 foot long, and this is what I'm going to use. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these down at an angle so that they'll be 1 3/4 wide, and I'll put my link ends on those. I'll weld them straight to the link ends, and then wherever I'm going to put my bag, I'm just going to drill a hole and mount the bag. That's going to be fun, isn't it? Let me get these measured off so I can get them cut. I've got way too much. I've got more over there. Let me measure this bar. I'll get right back with you guys. Again, this is coming in handy. I was able to get those cut. Now I'm going to take the grinder, and everybody's going to get mad at me if I don't, so I'm going to fish mouth these to make sure that they will go around the link end properly. So I'll have to get that little bit of a round, so those will cut right into the end. And then these, that's too big, right? So I'm going to measure this out, and I'm going to trim it down from here, cut it out, and kind of round them off. I'm going to do that at both ends on both of these. That way these will fit better. Trying to up my game on the angles that I'm giving you guys. There, we got a fish mouth. Now I just got to turn this around and we can do the other side. Now make sure that it's straight up and down with both sides. That way when you put these in, they're both going the same way. When we make the final weld, we'll check them out one more time just to make sure that everything is exactly where we want it to be before we make our first tacks and then check it all out. Of course, with guys with machine shops, they have jigs and everything where they can set it up where it's all straight when they do this. And they also use an actual hole saw to cut these out to make the fish mouth perfect at both ends. But when you're working with just a few things, then you got to make do with what you can, but try to get it as exact as possible because it can really mess up the way your suspension travels. There it is. That should be good right there. Just in case some of you are wondering what fish mouth is, this is what a lot of guys, see how that's dipped in? Right there. That way it's like a bowl that this can set into. See? Trying to find the right angle. That way it sets in there and you can balance it on the end and it won't fall off. See? Alright, I got my link bar set up, and the way I actually have this set up is I have one link bar on the bottom and it's clamped in, and then this top one is here where I can move it around. So what I'm going to do is I got to find center of this. So I'm going to use this right here, and I'm going to put this here, and it's just under 2 inches tall. So it's barely just under 1 inch is where we're going to find our center of this. Because when we weld the end on, we want to get the link bar raised up to where the center is. And that's how we're going to weld it on, so that it's level. And that's why I'm also using this piece of metal here underneath it, so that it'll set up and be level, and then this will be set up level, so when I tack it together, everything is square. So I'm going to go ahead and measure up as far as I need to on this. Like I said, it's just under 1 inch, and then I'll have it set up. I got to raise this to where the center of this is also at 1 inch. And that way we make sure that the whole thing and the whole setup is directly centered on that. Otherwise, you're going to end up with it either too low or too high on the end of the link bar. All right, let me turn this camera around so you can see my setup right here. What I did was, that's why you don't throw away your scrap metal. I took 2 pieces of scrap metal, one at either end right here, to raise it up just enough that I needed. The actual bar itself is a half inch thick, just under ½ inch. And then with this being 1/4 inch thick, now I was able to put those together, and it raised the center up just below 1 inch. And that's what we said we needed. So it's actually centered right there. So now when I take this and butt it up against right there, it is just about centered from my calculations. Yeah, that looks pretty good, don't it? I'm not talking about the Budweiser. I'm talking about this. And this is not product placement. They are not supporting me in any way or giving me any kind of money or proceeds or anything. But they take my goddamn money. So anyway, so now I can get this centered up. I can go ahead and tack weld this in, so then that way it's set up, and then I can do the other side exactly the same. My buddy Butch next door come over and he goes, "What'd you do, build some forklift blades?" I did not even make the connection that they look like I stole some forklift blades and I'm making link bars out of them. So if you get under there, take a look at my forklift blades that are, well, forklift blades. It makes sense. They lift and lower the product, and that's a hell of a product I got there. All right, I'm gonna get that tacked on, and then we'll do the other side. All right, there we go. You're gonna edit me saying that out. I love butt sex. Well, that's going to be edited out. All right. almost looks like I know how to weld. All right, one link bar done. Look at that. Isn't that a funky looking link bar?
Yeah, I think so.
There we go. Let's get in tight for the welds. Make sure I'm doing them right. That one looks ugly, don't it? But that one looks okay. I think we're getting pretty good penetration. That one went in real deep right there. And then this one down here. So there. Now I'm just gonna make this other one and get those last two 1-inch bars done, and I gotta go back to work. All right, 1-inch bar is the same thing. You want to get the bar up high enough to be center with your link in, which that's what I've got there. Then what I did was, these are the same distance, these magnets, same distance, so I just hooked them onto there to hold the bar where it needs to be. This is 2 inches wide, so I center this with this bar here, and then I have to just make sure that the bar itself is centered with the link end, and that way I can go ahead and weld it on. So that'll help to get everything squared up and straight, so I can weld this on and I can get both sides done. All right, got everything put away. Well, kind of. What a mess. Got my favorite tool. Oh my God, this thing is coming in absolutely handy. Oh look, what are those? They look like link bars to me. Link bars. Here. That way you can turn your head sideways. Link bars are done. Got them down here, nice and welded up. Nice and welded up, all cleaned up. Very little grinding. There was a little bit of over on the outside edges of here, and because I don't want the bushings to wear away real fast, then I grinded those off just a little bit on both sides, just to make sure that the bushing wasn't going to get wore away once it gets on there. I still need to sand them down real good and get them painted. I'll do that next weekend. From what I can see, the link bars, the tab mounts are actually coming in probably by the end of this week. I've already got the email saying that they've already been shipped, and that was like, what, 2 days ago, because it's now Sunday at noon, and yesterday I got an email Saturday. So he works on Saturdays. Thank you very much. We will see you guys next weekend. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We're going to try to get these link bars as close to on, or at least fitted, and get them close to in place of where we're going to probably want them at next weekend. And comment at the bottom, thumbs up, all that good shit. Go build some link bars, man. This is how you build link bars.